Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? It's another wonderful year. See, God has been faithful and good to you. So what do we say? We say thank you, God. Yes, once again, you've come to the only program, the Personality Profile. As a matter of fact, this is the only program that will put you on the edge, will compel you to think outside the box. And when you're able to think outside the box, then you get solutions for what you're looking for. As a matter of fact, if you're not thinking outside the box, then you're not going nowhere, because you need to broaden your horizon and get to your target. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the only show, the show that compels you to think out of the box to become a generational thinker. As a matter of fact, if you're not thinking outside the box, then you're going nowhere. And like I said, these program is brought to you by Mega Joy Company Limited, distributors of drop juice drink. They've got varieties like banana, they've got orange, they've got peach, they've got grapes. Don't just buy anything anywhere and drink. If you want something that will quench your taste, then you have to look out for Mega Joy Company Limited, where will give you nothing but the best of fruit that can keep and maintain your health and your body. Honorable, now, are you saying that our politics today will hold Ghana to the best of future we're looking for?
Well, as long as we've generally accepted the Western-style political system, we are trying to do the best with it. And the Western-style political system has some strengths and has some weaknesses. And the strengths, of course, is that through democratic processes, you get to choose your leaders. The leaders have to compete for your attention. You get parliamentarians who also pass your laws, and you have a judiciary that also helps to, try cases and bring you some justice. But it's in the political party system where, if we're not careful, the commercialization and the monetization of politics in Ghana is beginning there. And most of the corruption in Ghana actually begins within the political parties. People look to government and government institutions and worry about what is happening there, because over there you have public accounts committees and you have Auditor General and Accountant General to monitor and write reports. Political parties, nobody writes any reports about what happens inside the political party. How people use money, misuse money, misallocate money, steal money, and do all kinds of things. And many of those who are managing or mismanaging political parties are the same people who intend and who eventually get to become public servants as political appointees. So it's important for us to find ways to cleanse the political party system and to sanitize it and to strengthen it and to allow some minimum forms of accountability to prevail. That's why in the NDC, our slogan and our values include probity, integrity, and accountability. I don't know what the MPP people have, but we hear them talking about property owning democracy. They just want to own property. However, they can own it by crook or by crook. They try to do so. Nevertheless, democracy has good prospects for Ghana in the sense that it makes the Western world able to relate to us and to see the progress that we are making. And it also allows us to change governments from time to time and to bring in better governments if a government that we have is not performing well. But the main challenge, as I've said, is the fact that how do we, notwithstanding the differences amongst people politically, how do we harness the totality of Ghana's human resource potential so that we don't ignore somebody's mental value? You keep talking about thinking outside of the box.
Exactly.
How do we think outside of the box and capture everybody's knowledge into Ghana's development, rather than draw a line in the middle and say, if you don't belong to this party which is in power, we have no need for your knowledge. Wait for your turn. Then when you also come, you say, all those who are not part of my party, stay outside. You have no need for your knowledge. There must be ways, thinking outside of the box, to tap into the brain power of all Ghanaians without necessarily saying you are getting a political appointment if you're not in the party that has won power. So a party has won power. It must be able to tap into the knowledge of all Ghanaians, irrespective of the political affiliation of the other people, because it's not about political appointments. So one of the things I am proposing in my vision for Ghana in the current campaign is what I'm calling knowledge networks. Networks of knowledge. Networks that will help to tie the brain power of as many Ghanaians as possible when it comes to environmental and sanitation. Who are all the experts in that subject worldwide? There are Ghanaians doing environment and sanitation management in Korea, in Helsinki, in South Africa, in Montevideo, but you may not know them, and I may not know them, but they exist. What about if we want to do, sanitize the financial system? We've had banks collapsing and having various challenges. There are numerous Ghanaians who are experts working in Switzerland, working in Dubai, Middle East, and other parts of the world in China who are banking and financial experts whose knowledge can be tapped into. Coming to forestry management, just about every sector, we have Ghanaian experts, but most of them are outside the public sector. They are not in the Minerals Commission, they are not government appointees, but they are willing to provide their knowledge. Some of them are academics, some are teaching in Australia or in New Zealand. And I've seen them because I've traveled around these countries by virtue of my experiences in the Commonwealth Telecom Organization. For example, I've been to numerous countries around the world and met Ghanaians everywhere. And most of these Ghanaians are very, very passionate about Ghana. They monitor Ghana regularly. They look for their gari sometimes, or their kobis and their shitos to eat, kenke, etc. They come to Ghana from time to time. They write to their brothers and sisters and to their classmates here. But to their horror, even those who graduated from the Ghana Medical School, they want to come back and practice free medicine, give knowledge to Ghana. They find that their own classmates are blocking them from coming into Ghana to offer free medical services for one reason or the other, because sometimes people are afraid that the guy who is coming in has cutting-edge knowledge, latest technology. He may show me for not being as knowledgeable as people think I am, so don't let him come around. There are these things that don't make our nation move forward. And these things, not all of them are political things. Many of them are just cultural things.
Cultural things.
Things like the so-called, this konongukaya. If I can't do it, I will also not let you do it.
Allow anybody to also do it.
Or kokofu football. If it is not my own community or my own family, I won't pass the ball to them. Okay? Or the crabology. We pull him down.
Pull him down syndrome. Yeah.
These are all part of Ghana's culture, which have nothing really to do with politics.
Okay.
They have just been part of our culture, and they're increasingly interfering with our ability to move forward as a nation, to rise up to the highest possible levels of performance, which you see Ghanaians performing when they are outside this country. So by virtue of the institutions that I've worked in, I know that Ghanaians are among the most competent people on earth. And you need to talk to Malaysians, to talk to Germans, Indonesians, Filipinos, and Brazilians who have worked with Ghanaians in the United Nations, in the World Bank Group, in the African Development Bank, in the
Then
Commonwealth.
you will know.
I've been to all those places, and you know, because they'll tell you within 3 minutes which African nationality group in this institution are the most competent and the best performing, the Ghanaians. They'll just say it, and they can tell you that that has been the case for the last 50 years. It's not the current thing. If you ask that question in 1965,
It's been running
you get the answer.
through
If you ask that question in 1975,
the line
you get the same
stream.
answer. But the same Ghanaians, when they come to Ghana, people compromise them. They won't let them be effective. So you find, for example, that I am the longest vetted minister in Ghana's history. 6 hours of vetting. Is it because I can't perform? I can, but somebody is trying to find
a
some
way
technical way to make it
sideline
impossible
you.
for me to do the work.
Now, if
1993, Rollins wants me to be a minister, and NDC-dominated parliament. There were no MPP people there. Rejected me on the grounds that I don't have a voter ID card. I'm the only ministerial candidate, as far as I know, who has been rejected from coming into office based on something called voter ID card. Not based on his knowledge, his capacity, his commitment, his patriotism, his willingness, his efficiency. No. Let's find a way to disqualify him.
If I may ask you,
I'm still here.
If I may ask you,
Yes.
then you didn't want to compete with the past president, but now you want to compete with the past president. So if I may ask, what propelled you to do so, or what triggered the action? Because everybody has a reason for doing things.
If you're talking about President Mahama, I
Yes.
was his superior when I was Minister of Communications.
Exactly.
In 1997.
Exactly.
And he became my superior
Exactly.
when he was president of Ghana and I became a minister.
So,
But the election is not about any two particular people running. There are 7 aspirants. So some people may like to focus on a particular person or a particular 2 people. But I see all aspirants as people running the same race. We are all starting at the same starting line. Somebody may be more endowed with wealth, somebody with more knowledge, somebody with more experience, somebody with more strategy, somebody with better communication. But we are starting at the same line,
level.
and we are supposed to get to the same
Destination.
tape. We are going to breast the tape. So if he breasts the tape, we'll clap for him. If I breast the tape also, I believe he will clap for me. He has said on numerous occasions that he will support whoever the NDC elects as his flag bearer, especially when there were those unity walks going on. That's what President Mahama said. So I believe him. And when I have lost the elections in the past to President Mills, I came and supported President Mills. I flew from London at my own cost 6 times in 2007, 2008 to support him to win the 2008 election. And then it may be partly due to that, but also due to his own experience with me. When he was the vice president of Ghana under Rawlings, but there was the chairman of the cabinet of President Rawlings, and therefore heard all the arguments. And I remember he's a lawyer. I am not a lawyer, but he could see arguments we were making in cabinet meetings in favor of this or against that. And he reached the conclusion that this Spio Garbrah man must have a lot of passion for this country. He must be very dedicated. First of all, his brother was working at the World Bank, President Mills. But he saw me leave the World Bank to come to work for Ghana. And he knows what kind of sacrifice it involves to leave that kind of a lucrative position. If you are there for 25 or 30 years, you retire, you can get a check for $7,000 to $10,000 sitting at home as part of your pension. I give all that up to come and serve the people of Ghana. So when President Mills saw those things and saw the kind of arguments I was making in cabinet to defend the national interest, he drew a quick conclusion that Spio Garbrah is the first person I shall make a minister in my government when I win the 2004 election. That was him saying that. He didn't win the 2004 election. He won the 2008 election, and he tried to make me the first minister in his government by offering me the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs, which didn't come to pass. But as I said to the NDC delegates, I didn't leave the NDC. I didn't form a new party. I didn't get upset. I waited for my turn. So I've been standing in line and marking time to be the leader of the NDC for 12 years. I'm the longest waiting flag bearer aspirant of the NDC family.
And now it's your turn.
And now it's my turn, because in 2006, when I was standing, they said, oh, but you are younger than Professor Mills, you should allow Professor Mills to go, your turn will come, etc., etc. Well, so they voted for him. Now I'm the oldest among the aspirants. So if they want to use that kind of argumentation, then it's my turn, and they also can wait for their turn.
Briefly, our time is almost up, but briefly, when you've been made a president, tell me, what are the things that you put in place that Ghanaians will say, indeed, we had this man long awaiting, we could have brought him way back, and why? So what is the main thing that you can say, okay, when I become this, I will do this, and I will do this, and this will differentiate between me and this person, though in the same shape?
The actual policies and programs of the NDC when we win 2020 election are a decision of the whole party, not the aspirant alone or the flag bearer. So for that, you have committees that meet to develop your manifesto, which you then launch and explain what you do in education, health, roads, and all that. So I hope that's what they're talking about. What do you do in roads? What do you do to build schools? No, anybody can build schools. It is the networking of the competency of the Ghanaian that I've just told you about.
How do you channel them into?
That's what I've told you. That I'm creating networks of knowledge.
Okay.
You know, today, by God's own good turn, through the internet and through information and communication technologies, and so now you may remember that I used to be the chief executive officer of the Commonwealth Telecommunications Organization, which is the most important organization among the 54 English-speaking Commonwealth countries in the area of telecoms. The first African to hold that position in 100 years, competing with over 100 other candidates for that position. So I learned a lot about how information communication technology infrastructure work, how the fiber optic cables that link us together, the satellite satellite systems around the world, the radio access networks can allow our brains also to be networked. So through Google Groups, what is a WhatsApp? Everybody's using WhatsApp.
Exactly.
WhatsApp is a platform that allows you 5, 7, 10, 20, 100 of you to exchange information.
Exactly.
So already you know it. But are we using WhatsApp really for national development? Are we going there to either joke with each other or send funny photographs to each other? Most Ghanaians are not using WhatsApp for serious, productive, educational, knowledge building, and life transforming activity. It is jokes, entertainment, argumentation, some political, so and so. I support this man, you support that person, type of thing. We need to build different kinds of platforms, and there are so many platforms that you can build using networks to bring in the knowledge of the engineer who is working in Japan. He's not trying to come to Ghana. He's not asking to replace the Ghana Highway Authority Deputy Managing Director. Nobody should be afraid of him. He's happy to be in Korea or Japan doing some work for the Japanese highways. Somebody's in Germany doing the same thing. We will network their knowledge so that when you're building a road, you can send your design to them and within 24 hours, they'll bring you their comments, for free. That is not being done now.
Wow.
Spio Garbrah will do those kind of things.
Wow.
You want to establish an agricultural program, whether it is in cashew sector, oil palm sector, whatever it is, we have a design for it. I send it to the experts on that subject. Ghanaians living in 15 countries, give me your views in 48 hours. They'll bring their views, and we'll do things in rapid time.
Wow.
Because we are then networking all the brain
together,
Ghanaians, both in Ghana
and in the diaspora,
for the national development.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, Honorable. There has been a lot of MPs in the parliament, and looks like it's a bit one-way sideline, because everybody's going the way that he or she will find an interest in there, or some sort of a benefit that will swing up to him or her. But are you know what bothered about that?
Now, if you're talking about a certain number of MPs who have signed a statement in favor of one candidate, it's nothing surprising. I've said to them, anybody who is president gets to appoint MPs as deputy ministers and ministers, gets to appoint municipal chief executives and metro chief executives, gets to appoint ambassadors, high commissioners, chiefs, CEOs of state enterprises, board chairmen and board members. So if those who have received such appointments feel a sense of either obligation or appreciation towards who gave them the appointment, it's not a surprise. But remember that their appreciation is to the office of the president, is to the person who was president of Ghana, is to the position, not to the individual. Because if you remove the individual from the position, then it's a different story. They're showing loyalty to where the appointment came from. That's fine. But how many are they? You're talking about 90 MPs, or even 5,000 or 7,000 beneficiaries of various positions. There are 250,000 others who are angry, despondent, and happy. Many of them didn't even vote in 2016 election because they feel that when people get into certain positions, they change their telephone numbers, they turn off their phones, they are unreachable, they can't get to talk to their own MPs and the other ministers, etc. Those people are also going to vote. And many of them are going to vote a vote, if they choose, of anger and a desire to change. You're talking about people thinking outside the box, doing things differently.
Exactly.
NDC people also must think outside of the box and do things differently. If we do things the way we did them in 2016, then we'll lose the election again, just as we did. In 2016, we were in power. We had all the trappings of power. The armed forces, the police, the BNI, the Bank of Ghana, civil service were all supposedly under the control of the NDC and the presidency. How did all of that leave our hands and go into the hands of the opposition? The NDC delegates are concerned about who amongst the candidates, if we vote for, can give us 8 years of governance, 2 terms. If anybody has been a president already, he can only give you 4 more years. So all your efforts to get out the MPP, who have only served 4 years, and that's not going to be easy to do. Nobody has been able to remove a government and a party that have only served 4 years so far in the Fourth Republic of Ghana. All the other governments have been more or less 8-year governments of the party. Because Mahama and Mills together was 8 years. Rawlings, 2 terms, 8 years. Kufuor, 2 terms, 8 years. So if you try to get Akufo-Addo and MPP out of office in 2020, it will be a Herculean task. Very difficult, very challenging.
So it means that more
and you must think outside the box, and more ideas must come on board. You can't use the activities of the past. And those who say that, well, you are going to campaign on somebody's past achievements, again, it's wrong analysis. That is what made us lose 2016. We published a beautiful big book, green book, of all the wonderful schools and bridges and hospitals that have been built under President Mahama. And presented to the people of Ghana, you see what we've done, please vote for us. And the people of Ghana said, no, we know you've done these things, but you use our taxpayers' money to do it. The election is about the future. It's not about the past. It's about what will you do for me when I vote for you in 2016. From 2017 to 2021, what will you do for me? Because the opponent is saying, I'll give you free SHS if you vote for me. I'll give you 1 village, 1 dam. I'll give you 1 million per constituency. And this is what are you telling me? And this is, well, Unapo. A Hejobodo. Idebi Keke. We're not able to tell Ghanaians specifically what we will do for them for the 4 future years.
We're rather telling them,
we're telling them what we've done in the past. And they say, yeah, fine, thank you for the Ridge Hospital, thank you for Kaswa Interchange, thank you for Dubai in Accra. But that's what the governments are supposed to do. Tell me something about the future. So the 2020 election will be about what NDC will do for Ghanaians between 2021 and 2025, January. Not about what we did between 2012 in 2016. So this idea that you run on somebody's record is, again, a false logic and false analysis. And that's the kind of thing that makes us lose elections. So I'm the one that has developed the slogan. When I say NPP, NDC guys respond one term. If I say Akufo-Addo, they respond one term. And when I say NDC, they say we are coming back. NDC, Yesanyaba. NDC, Wambaeko. That is a slogan that prepares you to remove a government. Not a Hejobodo, which means things are cool. It means things are cool. Nobody knows what it means. You must change the mindset by changing the slogans. Let people utter it from their mouths. Let them believe in it. Then they are prepared for a potential removal of the incumbent government. I'm the new aspirant dealing with that. And that is why we are going to change their minds. And at the end of the day, when I ask them, whose time is it? They say it's Spio's time. What time is it? It's Spio's time. So that's what is going on in Ghana today.
Wow. That's awesome. Honorable, I appreciate this is deep. Before we wrap up, can you just give us a bit of achievement that you can say, this is Honorable Spio, the rundown or the change of Ghana politics that's becoming a reality that everybody's going to enjoy from? Can you give us a...
I think it's a little too much for me to say these are my personal achievements. Almost anything anybody in leadership achieves, they do with a team and with their followers.
Wow.
So yes, I told you, with a team and with followers, I managed to convince Ghanaians to accept the value-added tax, which has since raised billions of dollars for our economy and has transformed the economy in various ways. Roads, hospitals, bridges, schools have all been supported with the value-added tax. Beyond that, again, I led another team to work to establish the Ghana Education Trust Fund, which again has invested tremendously in the educational system all over the country. And by the way, even though I helped to establish the fund, none of my four children, I didn't apply for scholarships for any of the four. I paid their school fees myself, even though I was entitled like any Ghanaian to also apply for the fund, because I wanted to prove that I didn't create that fund for myself and my family. So you need that kind of selflessness amongst your leaders, conscious selflessness. People who look out for others rather than for themselves to lead this country. And that's what I've done in the past. At the Ministry of Mines and Energy, I signed all kinds of agreements to support all kinds of people to explore all kinds of minerals in Ghana. If you ask President Mills, who is not alive, you ask President Rawlings, who made it possible for Ashanti Goldfields or Anglo Gold Ashanti to still be in Ghana today. It was myself in a cabinet meeting. Things I said to defend the national interest. That's why there's something called Ashanti Goldfields in Ghana today, or Anglo Gold Ashanti. I can't get into the details. And so many other things that I've done. But I don't want to make it my achievements. Rather, I work with a lot of people to move things forward. At the party headquarters, I recommended the creation of business development committees, which I've actually recommended again, this time not only at the national level, but at the regional and at the constituency level, within my 7-point agenda for NDC. And that business development committee could have done so much for the NDC and will do much more if I'm the flag bearer by teaching NDC members how to become business-oriented, how to become entrepreneurs. If I call a meeting of 100 NDC people and ask them, how many of you own your own business, registered business, less than 10 put up their hands. And when I ask them, if this were an NPP meeting, how many of them do you think will put up their hands? They, the NDC delegates, say almost all of them, 70 to 80% will raise their hands up. I said, so can you see already a difference between the nature of your NDC party and the nature of the party that you are contesting against? Because they are obviously more resourceful, they are more entrepreneurial, and they may also have more funds on an individual basis. And therefore they can mobilize much better than we can when it comes to mobilizing resources. And this is why, if you want to ask something I did that nobody else did, when the party headquarters said, come and pay 400,000 cedis, many of us protested against it. 6 of us did. We wrote a petition. When the price was reduced to 300,000, every single aspirant went and paid exactly 300,000. They didn't pay 301,000. They didn't pay 302,000, even though there was nothing preventing them from doing so. In fact, one of them obviously would have even been able to pay 400,000 because he didn't protest about the 400,000. And yes, Spio Garbrah is the only one among the 7 aspirants who went and paid 5,000 cedis more voluntarily to show my love and my passion for the party. So if somebody is looking for Solomonic wisdom, that this baby, 2 women are struggling over it. So who does the baby belong to? Shall we cut it into 2 and share it? One says, yeah, cut it into 2. The other one says, no, let her have the baby. Because this is my baby, I don't want it to be cut into 2. If people want to know who among the aspirants truly loves the NDC is the one aspirant who went and paid a little bit more, even though he may have least among the lot. But nothing stopped them from paying. But sometimes divine intervention comes, and God said, "Okay, pay a little bit more, and show them that even though you may not have a lot, you love this party as much or more than the others who could have paid more, but they didn't."
Wow.
So that is your sign.
What will be your
to
last advice? Because somebody out there, what you have said so far, so good, has been a motivation for people watching this program. As a matter of fact, what will be your final advice?
There are many people out there who support me, who would like me to win, but they're sitting in their living rooms. Say, "Oh, Akwawe, we nyanka yepa, oh, nakabomane, oh, onsumosane wadenche, etc." Oh, it's good. Oh, Akwa is a good guy. He could be a good president. Please support me. Don't sit in your living rooms. I need help. I have flyers all over the place recommending how you can support me through mobile money, through a short code payment system on my website. All this is available. All these ways are available for those who are sitting. Listen to the sound of my voice. If you want a man who can come and clean up this country and make progress, your 50 cedis, your 200 cedis, your 1,000 cedis, your 10,000 cedis will go a long way. When I started advertising even the newspapers for people to fund my campaign, people were laughing. But Spio Garbrah is begging for money. Then recently, when the party asked for the filing fees, all the aspirants put out advertisements saying, "This is my short code, this is my so and so, and please send me money." I started asking for this 1 year ago. So now people realize that leadership is your ability to think outside the box ahead of other people. And that is what I did, even with fundraising, which people thought was not the norm. People think you should steal money in public office and then come and spend it on your campaign. And now saying that you don't have to steal any money in public office. You can ask the people of Ghana to support you. And when they support you and you come, you won't have particular cabals to whom you owe allegiance and for whom you must go and sign wrongful contracts. You owe your allegiance to the whole people of Ghana. From the person who gave you 5 cedis to the person who gave you 20,000 cedis. So please send in your contributions. Don't sit on the fence. Look for me. I don't know where you are. You probably will know where to find me. My telephone number and other things are very easy to find. Go on Google, just type Spio Garbrah in it. You'll find my website. You'll find many numbers you can reach us. I thank you very much for your support.
Wow, Honorable, I'm well moved, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm spellbound.
You feel like bringing your own 20,000 cedis, right?
Thank you so much for having you on the show. And like I said, all too soon, this is where we draw the curtains of the only show that compels you to think outside the box, to become a generational thinker. See, the world is advancing, and you don't think outside the box, you have nothing to beckon on, because what you don't keep today won't keep you tomorrow. And this is where we draw the curtains. And this program, like I said, is sponsored by Mega Joy Company Limited, distributors of drop juice drink, where we have varieties of drink like banana, red grapes, orange, peach, aloe, pineapple, mixed fruit, and all sort of. And we are located at Kaswa Tuba 2nd Bridge. God bless you. And God bless you, and God bless you, and have a wonderful, happy new year. Like I said, don't entertain what will detain you, but rather entertain what will maintain you, because there won't be any excuse that can rescue you when you're in a mess. Stay blessed and have a wonderful moment. Bye for now.